I think this is an appropriate hat. SGC here, and we're back with a movie review. The Hateful Eight. Directed by Quentin Tarantino, this is his 8th film, and it stars a great ensemble cast featuring Samuel Jackson, Kurt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walton Goggins, Demián Bichir, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, and Bruce Dern. And everyone else, check down below. And holy smokes, the film score composed by Ennio Morricone is amazing. I will definitely check out more of his music because I'm new to him, but he is amazing. But anyway, what's this film about? Well, basically, this is a mystery western film about 8 people who sort of just have a layover at a stagecoach stopover on a mountain pass during a blizzard, and it takes place after the Civil War in Wyoming. And there are people with bounty hunters, hangmans, Mexicans, and all that. And basically, check out the trailer and you see it's like clearly something's gonna go down. How is it gonna go down? You know things are gonna go quite the way that Tarantino usually goes with his films. That's basically the entire film. So what did I think? Well, first off, if you feel like, oh my goodness, 8 people in a cabin, how is that a film? Well, you just have to let that go. Because, I mean, Tarantino has got you with his crazy dialogue scenes. Just the epic cinematography in terms of dealing with characters is just great stuff here. But before I continue, I watched the 70mm version. It is doing a road show currently as of filming. It goes to different sort of theaters and it plays 70mm, so much wider than your normal theatric release. And there's also a overture and an intermission. Overture is like right before the film, they play some of the soundtrack, and intermission is a 15-minute break. This movie is 3 hours long, and the whole concept of that is apparently back in the day, when films still did road shows, they had overtures and intermissions. And it was just an awesome way of experiencing some historical cinematography. A piece of the history that back in the day, people watch movies like this, and it was just great. I really loved it. If you can catch this before it leaves your roadshow area location that's closest to you, do watch it as soon as possible. Because once it's released everywhere, it's probably going to just be a normal release. And there won't be an intermission, and apparently in 6 minutes it's cut from that comparative to this 70mm. Anyway, back to the film. So yes, Tarantino is at it again. Great dialogue. Everyone here is just great. Some of the standouts here for me is Samuel Jackson. Finally, he's sort of front and center in a Tarantino film, because lately he's been sort of the side supporting character or just a person that's just there. But this time he is smack dab in the middle, and he's the main character here. One would assume Kurt Russell would be it, but both of them play sort of this main role, and it's just very great. The line delivery from him is awesome. Everyone's line delivery is just great. All the talking, the dialogue, just witty, hilarious, great stuff, fun, tense, all that. It's just dialogue hands down is amazing. Another standout for me is Walton Goggins, or what have you. But this guy, he literally has been supporting for a lot of films, and he is amazing in all the roles that he's done, from memory anyway. But always like, this guy needs more. And finally here, Hateful Eight delivered. Walton Goggins, more lines, more epicness. This guy is nuts and just great to watch. So great stuff. So with that, acting is done. Cinematography, 70mm is just amazing in the sense where the wide shots for those really outdoors shots is like, oh, the scale and the atmosphere really adds to that. And then plus you have this amazing soundtrack. The score is just great, adds another level of immersion with these characters and this place and this bloody blizzard. And it's just great. It's great. I mean, really, there's nothing wrong with this movie. I enjoyed the pacing, the narrative, the characters, the cinematography. The plot is simplistic, but it keeps you guessing what's going to happen, and it just keeps you on your toes, and it's just great. And you have your standard hyper-violence from Tarantino, and I would say it's not that intense like Kill Bill, but it hits you hard. it pretty much hits you pretty hard here. Because it's, like, I love it. Because it's Tarantino and his action and violence is realistic. It has real life consequences. You get shot, it sticks with you, it could kill you. And he's not afraid to kill characters. And he's playing around with 8 of them right now. And it's just fun stuff. Who's going to die next? Or how is he going to die? That sort of stuff. Great, great, great. So yeah, I have no complaints. I mean, sure, the narrative went into the direction that I might have been like, but I'm forgivable. I'm forgivable. No, this movie is I'm going to be very forgiving. I was like, yeah, I loved it. I mean, it changed, but then the scene afterwards was like, oh my goodness, it happened. I'm so happy for it. But yeah, so this is all praise around. Really enjoyed it. I mean, if you're a diehard Tarantino fan, you don't need to watch this review. You know that you're going to go watch this. But if you're not a Tarantino fan and you skipped out on Inglourious Basterds, or you have seen Inglourious Basterds and Django, then I'm not quite sure if you're going to like this. But I would say, comparative to those two, it's like the scale is so much smaller. It's a lot more personal, a lot of great dialogue. It's easy to keep up. The violence isn't that over the top comparative to glorious scalping scenes or Django's slave stuff. So it's I would say it's tame-ish, if that's even a descriptive thing to say about his sort of hyper violence. But it is rather tame from my memory of everything that he's done so far. Or maybe I'm wrong. But what have you, I would definitely recommend you to go watch this film. Definitely catch it at the 70mm Roadshow. If you have it in your area, definitely show up and support this sort of format thing. I mean, seriously. The fact that they use the same lenses that they filmed like Ben-Hur and all those crazy epics back in the day is worth going in. And then you have this crazy soundtrack, crazy acting, crazy dialogue, awesome stuff. There's awesomeness all around. Like, why would you skip out on this? Sure, you can probably go watch Star Wars 5, 6, 7 times, but definitely leave some time for the Hateful Eight, because it is greatness. And you seriously get to experience a slice of history if you do the 70mm. If you don't, then it's different. I don't know. I'm glad I got to catch that 70mm. If you can't, still go watch this, because it's a Western film. Western needs more love, sort of thing. But anyway, that's basically it. I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. It was fun. Recommended. Anyway, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that is all for this movie review of The Hateful Eight. Out!